Lucas, who had fished at sea for many years, thought he had seen everything. But on a recent trip he found an unknown island not on any of his maps. Feeling both excited and scared, he decided to look around. Soon after landing on the shore, his face went pale. With shaking hands, he tried to call 911 but found there was no phone signal on the island. What should he do now? He could either leave right away and go far away, or stay and try to understand what was happening here. Usually, Lucas would have left, but today he felt unusually brave. He decided to walk along the shore while staying near his boat, in case he needed to escape quickly. You see, what he found on the island scared him badly. It was something he had only seen in movies before, not real life. It was something that warned him, "Lucas, it's dangerous to stay here." But Lucas had been wanting an adventure, and now he had one. Looking around, he felt he might not be alone. While carefully exploring the shore and watching for anything strange, he wondered why he had never seen this island before. He had driven his boat in this area many times, but never noticed it. Suddenly, he heard something break under his foot. At first, he thought it was just a stick, but when he saw what it really was, he wanted to yell. He had stepped on a bone. He couldn't tell if it was from a human or an animal, but it was definitely a bone. "Okay, that's enough. I'm leaving this place," he told himself. But as he walked back to his boat, he realized he would probably need to stay longer than planned. The sky had turned dark, and strong winds were making waves on the ocean. A storm was coming. Lucas's boat wasn't in great shape anymore, and he wasn't sure if it would make it home in this weather. He didn't want to stay on the island longer, but that seemed better than getting stranded at sea with no way home. He was a good swimmer, but couldn't swim all the way back without resting. As the rain began falling, Lucas knew he needed to find shelter in the forest. On the beach, there was nowhere to hide, and the rain would soon pour down heavily. He sighed, thinking, "Why did I get myself into this mess? I wanted adventure. Well, here it is." As he neared the forest edge, he didn't know what might be hiding inside, but what he found on the beach warned of danger. Lucas was glad he had brought his knife. It made him feel a little safer. Taking a deep breath, he entered the forest, hoping to survive. He walked around, looking for shelter, amazed by the beautiful plants and flowers that almost made him forget what he'd seen on the beach. He went deeper until he found a possible shelter. A hut made of leaves and broken branches. This discovery worried him. Who built it? Were they hiding nearby? What if they showed up while he was inside? What if they were connected to those scary things he found on the beach? Lucas might have waited longer, but the heavy rain forced him to decide. He ran to the hut and took shelter, constantly looking around, afraid of being attacked. The rain was so loud that he wouldn't be able to hear anyone coming. He regretted ignoring the warnings he'd found at the beach. Weird sculptures with messages like, "Leave," "Do not come closer," "Go away," and most scary, "Stay here and risk your life," all painted in what looked like blood. The more he thought about it, the more scared he became. Whoever made those signs might attack without hesitation. He felt constantly watched, an uncomfortable feeling. He'd only meant to check the beach, never planning to go deep into the forest. Now, he felt like easy prey. Luckily, the rain soon stopped. The sun shone through the trees, and birds sang, making everything feel less threatening, until Lucas heard footsteps. He ran without thinking. He ran as fast as possible, not wanting to meet whoever had left those warnings. He ran until he was tired, finally stopping to catch his breath. After making sure no one had followed him, Lucas briefly relaxed, until realizing he was completely lost with no idea how to get back to the beach. He knew he was in trouble. Trying to stay calm, he thought of a plan. If I just walk in a straight line, I'll eventually reach the edge of the forest, right? Once out, he would find his boat and leave, never to return. He tried to stay positive, but it was hard. This wasn't his first uninhabited island, and he knew rainforests in this area well, but it was his first time being lost while fearing for his life. Well, there's a first time for everything, he told himself, trying to cheer up. With everything looking the same, he picked a random direction and stuck with it. Eventually, he would find his way out. But this was when Lucas made a big mistake. He had actually been very close to the beach where he'd left his boat, but he chose exactly the wrong direction, going deeper into the forest. Of course, he didn't know this, and would probably never realize how close he'd been to escape. Ironically, he felt determined to find his way out, as he headed straight toward the thing, or person, he was trying to avoid. He walked in a straight line as best he could, but sometimes big trees or lakes blocked his way. He simply went around these obstacles and continued on. Lucas felt sure he was getting near the beach when he was actually moving further away. After walking for half an hour without seeing the blue sea through the trees, he started to worry. Seeing a spot of red paint, or was it blood, on a tree made him more concerned. I cannot turn back now. I've been walking in this same direction for so long. I must be getting closer. I have to continue, he told himself, not noticing the approaching darkness. Lucas became very curious about this stranger. Could he know a way off the island? With these burning questions, Lucas decided to follow him secretly, hiding behind trees and bushes while catching glimpses of the man. The journey had challenges. Once, Lucas stepped on a dry twig that made a loud crack. He froze, watching the man pause, look around, then continue. Another time, Lucas nearly sneezed, but stopped it just in time. Each close call made his heart beat fast, but his determination stayed strong. Lucas noticed strange markings on some trees. Scratches here, tied leaves there. Clearly the man's navigation system. Though the island wasn't on modern maps, this person had created his own way of marking paths and important places. Suddenly, the forest's quiet was broken. The man stopped, turned around, and looked carefully at the area. Before Lucas could react, the man had an arrow aimed directly at him, its sharp point shining in the dim light. "Who are you?" the man demanded, his voice as threatening as his weapon. "Sorry for the interruption. Before we continue with the story, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to this channel. It is very important for us. Thank you very much." With his heart beating fast, Lucas found the courage to speak. "I mean no harm. I'm just a fisherman who found this island by accident. I saw no signs of people and got curious. I only want to find my boat and leave." The man's eyes narrowed, his arrow not moving. Many came before claiming innocence. "How did you find this place? Who sent you?" Lucas felt the deep distrust in the man's voice. "I swear it was just chance," he insisted. Without another word, the man tied Lucas's hands behind his back with rough vine and motioned him to move forward. With each step, Lucas felt more unsure about where they were going. As they went deeper into the island, Lucas heard unexpected sounds. Children laughing, people talking, tools making noise, signs of a community. These sounds grew louder, showing a busy settlement hidden in the thick forest. Coming out from the trees, Lucas stood amazed. Before him was a camp with tents and huts made from natural materials. People moved around cooking and making things while children played happily. This was a peaceful group living away from the modern world. As Lucas entered the camp, whispers spread among the people living there. Children stopped playing. Adults paused their work, all eyes on the stranger. Some faces showed interest, others worry. From the crowd, a woman with a strong presence stepped forward. Her look was sharp, her stance confident. "Who are you?" she asked firmly, her voice showing she was in charge. Lucas could tell she was the leader, the one who had the community's respect and trust. "And how did you find our island?" she continued, her eyes studying Lucas's for signs of lying. Taking a deep breath, Lucas began his story. "My name is Lucas. I'm a fisherman who sailed these waters for decades." He described the day's surprise discovery, his curiosity, and the scary signs on the beach. "I never meant to intrude," he finished. "I just wanted to explore and then leave." His voice was honest, hoping they would believe his innocent intentions. The leader nodded and signaled two men who took Lucas to a corner of the camp. They showed him a simple tent for the night. As Lucas settled in, he felt everyone watching him, making sure he didn't cause trouble. The island's night sounds began, but Lucas's mind was busy, wondering about tomorrow. Next morning, Lucas woke up to the islanders' daily activities. He watched men and women skillfully catching fish, children gathering fruits and vegetables, while others made tools and fixed huts. The community worked together smoothly, each person doing their part in their self-sufficient life. Despite not knowing what would happen to him, Lucas couldn't help admiring the simple and united way they lived. After meeting with the Council of Elders, the leader returned to Lucas. "We've decided," she said firmly but not unkindly, "to test your honesty. If you truly mean no harm, you will prove it." Lucas nodded, understanding their need to be careful. The leader's eyes showed challenge, but also hope that he might be telling the truth. Lucas was given 3 tasks: fix a damaged fishing net, a skill every islander had, collect specific fruits and herbs from the forest, each important to the community, and start a fire using only basic tools. Each task tested not just his skills but his patience, cleverness, and respect for their way of life. The island's land was unpredictable, with sudden drops and slippery paths. Thick plants hid thorny bushes and hidden dangers. Telling edible plants from poisonous ones needed careful attention. Every step of Lucas's journey showed how tough and adaptable the islanders were. Despite sweat and scratches, Lucas kept going. He remembered the net patterns, carefully picked the right plants, and patiently hit stones until sparks flew. With each finished task, his determination grew. He wasn't just proving his innocence, he was earning the community's respect. As he worked, some islanders came up to him, sharing their personal stories of escaping the modern world, looking for peace in nature and finding unity in shared purpose. Through these stories, Lucas began to understand the true meaning of the island and its people. The leader approached with a serious expression. "Your final task," she announced, "is to find your way back to the beach without any help." Lucas realized how hard this would be, but accepted, determined to prove himself one last time. Using his new knowledge, Lucas began his journey. He recalled the subtle markers for finding his way, the special bird calls near coastal areas, and the wind carrying saltwater smell. He moved carefully, each choice showing what he'd learned from the islanders. Lucas faced several dangers: a warning hiss from a snake, a cliff edge needing careful detour, and quicksand pits he barely avoided. With each danger escaped, he became more alert to the island's beautiful yet wild nature. After what seemed like hours, Lucas heard waves crashing. Pushing through a final patch of bushes, he reached the beach where his adventure began. Relief filled him, seeing his boat anchored offshore. He had successfully navigated the island's challenges, proving his resourcefulness and respect for their way of life. Returning to camp, Lucas met with mixed reactions of admiration and doubt. The islanders gathered, discussing how he did in quiet voices. After listening to everyone, the leader stepped forward. "Lucas," she began, her voice showing the group's feeling, "you have proven yourself in ways we did not expect. Now we must decide your fate, knowing how important it is for our future and yours." The leader, after a long pause, finally spoke. "Lucas, you have shown respect, understanding, and strength. We have decided to let you go." A sound of agreement spread among the islanders. Several approached Lucas, shaking his hand or patting his back, their early suspicion now replaced with real warmth. The children, curious as always, came forward with shy smiles, their innocence different from the island's mysterious feeling. Before he left, the leader called Lucas closer. "There's a reason we value our privacy," she began. She told him of a sacred agreement made generations ago to protect the island's special environment and their spiritual connection with the land. "The outside world, with its never-ending rush, would never understand our connection to this place," she whispered. Lucas nodded, realizing the importance of their secret and the need to keep it safe. As the islanders said goodbye to Lucas, they gave him food and a special necklace to remember us by, their leader said with tears in her eyes. Lucas was touched by these heartfelt gifts. After fixing his boat, Lucas left while the islanders waved goodbye. His sail caught the wind as he headed back to familiar shores, leaving the mysterious island behind. Watching the island disappear in the distance, Lucas thought about his life-changing detour. The surrounding ocean seemed to show life's possibilities as he set his course, carrying the island's secrets with him. Reaching the familiar coast brought relief. Arriving at the port, Lucas was struck by the difference. Busy townspeople, familiar sounds and smells. On solid ground again, he felt thankful for both his safe return and his enriching adventure. Friends bombarded him with questions about where he'd been. Keeping his promise, Lucas only mentioned storms and boat troubles, keeping the magical island secret. Though weeks passed, the island's memory stayed fresh. Often, looking at the horizon, Lucas would touch the necklace, remembering the paradise and its people. He came back a changed man, finding joy in small pleasures and appreciating community and nature in ways he never had before. Eventually, the sea called again. This time, Lucas sailed with deeper wisdom, forever changed by the hidden island that had transformed his life. Did you enjoy this story? What would you have done in Lucas's position? Would you have ventured to explore the island or departed immediately? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the story, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Real adventure starts when you confront your fears with bravery and respect. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.